Apparently 2 pay-per-views in one weekend of August wasn't enough to satisfy WWE, so they decided to bring back the Payback event merely 7 days following the conclusion of SummerSlam. The show was all over the place with matches that had only 1 week to prepare for, so here are 20 sins right off the bat. Should have made this the September event. Also, that one awkward moment when not even half of these matches remotely relate to the term payback and are just there because reasons. Just like this pay-per-view exists because reasons. This entire music video, and all those annoying giant-ass lyrics. I feel like I'm watching the lyrics video to some overrated song that blasts lyrics in your face like its life depends on it. No, Tom, this event is called Payback, not Vengeance. Although, truth be told, that's the same damn show.
Triple threat, no holds barred.
I'll be honest, adding a no-holds-barred stipulation to a triple threat match is kind of redundant, considering literally every triple threat match in WWE has that stipulation.
And now, Hulu presents...
Oh goody, looks like we're gonna have to get used to these side-screen promos going forward. As long as they don't happen during matches, I'll be fine with it. But I got my eye on you. Oh, never mind, we're gonna have a full-screen presentation of this promo during Bobby Lashley's entrance. MVP is indirectly a pre-recorded dick to his own Hurt Business member.
United States Championship.
Personally, I think Apollo Crews' previous theme was way better than this. This new theme was likely created just so the audience can know who it belongs to by annoyingly shouting, Apollo!
Bulging disc in the neck of Apollo Crews months ago.
I thought it was a COVID disc. Oops, WWE just got even more pissed off at me. Meh, they hate me anyway, so what can I possibly lose?
He needs to understand that he...
Oh boy, this is embarrassing. The United States Championship is a completely new design, and the graphics designer is apparently so busy making new CGI graphics that he forgot to change the graphic of the US title when it's being defended. Don't know if y'all picked up on that, but Shelton Benjamin yelled at Byron Saxton saying he might not have a job after tonight, as if the Hurt Business can do anything about the commentator's job at ringside.
Lashley's the type of guy who's going to show up at your house at your birthday and eat your cake in front of you while everybody's singing.
What the fuck? Now I got that weird image stuck in my head of Bobby Lashley breaking into a stranger's house and eating someone's cake.
Put Crews out for a month on the couch with his wife and kids.
Tom Phillips is basically saying that Apollo's wife and kids also got a bulging disc somehow from Apollo. What, does he think a bulging disc is transferable like some sort of virus?
Easy. Keep an eye on the Hurt.
Hold up, wait a second. The referee counted up to 4 in the countout, but then said 2 immediately afterward. That's even more stupid than an AEW referee choosing not to count at all. At least their math is correct. I get that Apollo Crews has the champion's advantage here, but having a conversation with MVP and Shelton Benjamin is still a bad strategy since it gives Bobby Lashley time to recover.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Sorry if I'm laughing at this moment, but it looked like Bobby intentionally threw his own head into the ring post. I can understand the post-match photo op celebration moment, but these edited screenshots like one of Drew Gulak's old slideshow presentations is a little much. Jeez, I'd expect a post-match assault from the bad guys, but hardly from the good guy, unless his opponent cheated to win. And Bobby Lashley won the match fair and square without the help from Hurt Business. Talk about a sore loser. Don't give in. You can do this. The temptation is strong. Can't hold it back much longer.
You write your own material?
Probably not, but neither do you anymore. Keith Lee's what the hell happened to my career face?
Only $1 million to get in.
JBL is such a fucking asshole. Of course, what would we expect from him? Who the hell pays $1 million just to get into whatever the hell was on the card?
Two prime-time players.
Somewhere in catering, Titus O'Neil looked up in hope that Darren Young made his return, then sat back down in disappointment once he realized Michael Cole was talking about this random match. Big E continues to introduce the New Day even though Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are both on the sidelines. And before you say that he meant himself as an 8-time champ, just know that he said champs with an S at the end. Also, given Big E is technically on his own for the time being, why not just play the New Day music immediately, or maybe give him new music? New Day doesn't work with just one guy.
Tonight, this is deeply personal between two big bulls.
Let me stop you right there, Corey. There is nothing about this match between Big E and Sheamus that is even remotely close to being personal. Big E gets one win over Sheamus and it's automatically personal? Where's the logic in that? Also, I think that Sheamus would be more mad at Retribution rather than Big E, given it was their fault that Big E got the win that one time. Also, on a night called Payback, where there's a group called Retribution who seek payback against the entire WWE, it's all crickets and Brock Lesnar-like absence for that stable, which is really starting to make me think that they actually don't care about getting any sort of retribution or payback or whatever word they're using.
Back on
Conversations during matches. Been a long time since I placed that sin in, given the wrestlers have been doing a good job at making sure their conversations aren't picked up on the microphone. Streak ends again.
Boy, this is great strategy, guys.
What? Michael Cole just said what Sheamus did was a great strategeist or something? Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Oh, what a throw by Big E!
Sorry, but no. Big E's leg was targeted by Sheamus for the better part of 5 minutes in this match, whether it was a strike or a submission, and yet Big E is somehow able to run on it and connect moves without a problem.
Nonetheless,
it's annoying enough when Big E does that with Kofi and Xavier around, but when he's alone, the hip swivel lost all of its New Day charm. Just saying, if you want Big E in a singles run, give him his own character.
Big E tried.
You have an injured leg!
Cover and Big E kicks out at 2.5.
Yes, Big E kicked out, but then after that, both his shoulders are back down on the mat and Sheamus is still lying on top of him, so why isn't the referee starting another pinfall?
Corey, we learned a lot about Big E here tonight.
How? I've seen the same Big E that's been with the New Day and the same Big E that wins matches even on his own. What new stuff did we learn from Big E tonight? Because I'm drawing a blank. Just like Bayley's continued feud with Michael Cole is annoying, the New Day's continued feud with Corey Graves is also annoying.
I'm always motivated, bro.
Matt Riddle is gender confused.
By the way, he's already proven that he's a failure at home.
Man, WWE are such assholes by bringing up Matt Riddle's personal life issues and telling King Corbin to tweet about it. Not even in storyline is this excusable.
You don't like me.
Wow, you're so observant, Nia.
Shayna Baszler just said what I was about to say. By this point in WWE, everybody's a sinner, but still no match for me. Alright, it's been over a year since Baron Corbin won the King of the Ring tournament. Personally, I think it's time to shut down his gimmick as King Corbin as it has run its course. After a year of being king, it's starting to drag.
Payback is presented by Hulu. Watch your face.
Who gives a shit about Hulu?
The humble King Corbin.
If WWE is going to continue using edited audio effects from crowd noises, they could at least have the bro chants heard throughout the Thunderdome, given that's exactly what happens when Matt Riddle makes his entrance.
Is a legit. Oh, and Corbin.
Damn, those are some cool pyrotechnics just for kicking off flip-flops. And then everything got ruined with a pre-match assault. Matt Riddle has the lethal Kimura lock cinched in on King Corbin, and the commentators are not the least bit concerned that he could have his arm broken. Either because he's not Brock Lesnar, or because the commentators couldn't give two shits about the King.
Not true. I happen to get along quite well with King Corbin.
Oh, shut up, Corey. Nobody wants to hear how much you have a good friendship with the sexiest wrestler alive.
Bruh.
Who said that?
That's why I'm the king.
By constantly monologuing and costing yourself the victory? That's why you're the king? Could have sworn you're the king because you gained success in a tournament. Was I wrong?
Riddle, cover, hook to the leg is it.
Matt Riddle's left shoulder is off the canvas throughout this entire pinfall, and the referee chooses to ignore it. After all the times the King taunted his opponent or the crowd and ended up losing his matches, why the hell does he continue to do it?
Oh, the bro to sleep.
First of all, bro to sleep is a very stupid pun to give the GTS. But the sin mostly goes to the fact that King Corbin is somehow knocked out from a knee connecting to his armpit.
Big Corbin, time to move on.
Apparently, defeating King Corbin is somehow a major accomplishment. That'd only be the case if Matt was one step closer to being champion or something, or if he became the King of the Ring instead.
Finally be done.
Matt Riddle jinxed himself by saying he's done with the King, because at that precise moment, the King channels his inner Braun Strowman and yells, "I'm not finished with you!" Also, post-match assault. Even backstage, it still counts. On a known example of how sad this match is, the entire promo video for the Women's Tag Team Championship match features only Sasha Banks and Bayley, with absolutely zero mention or reference to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the two women who are actually challenging the titles.
It's boss time.
It was likely not said directly, but I'm quite positive Sasha Banks said, "Did you say it's boss time? We have to piss off Maracle because it's our destiny to get sinned."
Baszler, one of the reasons that Banks isn't the Raw Women's Champion.
Sasha Banks had clearly lost the Women's Championship to Asuka in that match at SummerSlam, where Shayna Baszler was nowhere to be found, and yet somehow Shayna is getting the credit for Sasha's loss.
So Nia telling Baszler, follow.
Nia Jax once again tells Shayna Baszler to follow her lead after several unsuccessful attempts to getting her to do so. And in doing so, they just broke the record for fastest tag-in following the beginning of the match in tag team history. Sasha Banks gets one single kick on a martial artist like Shayna Baszler and automatically believes that she has the advantage to start monologuing. No wonder it's lost time whenever she's in a title match. Never mind jealousy, maybe this is why Bayley betrays Sasha 5 days later.
Drives Baylor into the...
Baylor? Again? This isn't the first time Michael Cole has accidentally combined Bayley's name with Finn Balor's. What's up with that?
Baszler is the NXT Women's Champion. Corey, how about Sasha Banks? 5-time Raw...
Really bad idea to compare Shayna Baszler's 2 reigns as NXT Women's Champion to Sasha's 5 reigns as Raw Women's Champion. Shayna in a single reign was more dominant as champion than Sasha in 5. Quality over quantity, Michael.
champions to Shayna Baszler.
Either Sasha Banks dropped Shayna too early, or Bayley missed the cue to drop Shayna in that double team move. Take your pick.
Underneath the clothesline, caught by Banks.
You have no idea how frustrating it is to hear Michael Cole constantly mix up the names of wrestlers in matches, especially when Nia Jax looks nothing like Sasha Banks.
Tag made, Bayley's now legal. Top rope, now tag made, Banks.
Honestly, that tag was pointless. What was the point of Sasha tagging in Bayley if she was just going to tag herself back in 3 seconds later? That makes no sense.
Bayley taps out.
You gotta admit that Shayna Baszler won with the most creative ideas I've seen in a long time. Double submission on both Sasha and Bayley while forcing Sasha to make Bayley tap out. That was insane. Post-match interview that doesn't lead to anything. Cool to have Keith Lee on the main roster, however his match against Randy Orton exists only because they wanted to give Randy something to do prior to his next WWE title match against Drew McIntyre. One of the biggest flaws of having a pay-per-view literally 7 days after the previous one. Also, that one awkward moment when these two already faced off on Monday Night Raw 6 days ago. It'd be a great pay-per-view build if they didn't already have a match, even if that one ended in a disqualification.
The Legend Killer.
If Randy Orton is the Legend Killer, then why is he going after Drew McIntyre? Last I checked, Randy was more of a legend than Drew ever was. Also, Randy's punt kick looks less and less devastating than ever before, given Drew survived 3 of them and came back 2 weeks later. If the kick doesn't put out opponents for months, then it's useless. Boy, that sudden change in music doesn't fit Keith Lee at all. Those are 2 different beats. Not gonna be one of those guys who bitch non-stop about entrance music, but what was wrong with the other one?
Keith Lee delivered 3 kicks to the...
Oh, come freaking on! How the hell do you confuse Randy Orton with Keith Lee in any way? Last I checked, Keith came to the defense of Drew McIntyre. He wasn't the one connecting 3 punt kicks. Here are 3 more sins. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, the freaking athleticism of someone the size of Keith Lee continues to amaze me. He truly is limitless. Keith Lee is focused, got his mind in the game, ready to wrestle against Randy Orton, and yet it's Randy who's doing none of those things that is telling Keith that he's the one who needs an education.
I am the Legend Killer.
Okay, we get it! You're Randy Orton, you're the Legend Killer. Meanwhile, do you even know who the hell Keith Lee is? Randy's just asking to be put down in 6 minutes. Given the major size difference between Keith Lee and all the other victims Randy tried to put through that announce table, how the hell did it not smash? Seriously, if we're not going to successfully put wrestlers through the announce table, then what's the point of slamming them on it? Failure to break the table makes the moment look awkward every time. That quick victory from Keith Lee really shows his potential here on Monday Night Raw. One can only hope that the momentum can continue. But until then, here are a few sins off.
Is it safe to assume that Roman has signed his...
Good lord, Caleb Braxton won't give up on spoiling Paul Heyman's secret plans for Roman Reigns in tonight's main event. What's more annoying than CGI graphics? CGI graphics that get in the way of what you're trying to see. Move, I'm trying to watch the show!
The greater good that you fight for?
For this tag team match with Murphy and Seth Rollins taking on Rey and Dominic Mysterio, we are basically just repeating the same video package that was in the hype up for SummerSlam last week. If you got nothing new to share, then what's the point of repeating this?
Oddly things that you do at SummerSlam.
See what I mean? This video package does not hype up where we actually are tonight. Payback! Now we should really name this event to WWE advertise the shit out of this show. Would be appropriate given we see more ads on here than a YouTube video.
Wait a minute, Tom!
Damn, that's gotta suck for Dominic. Immediately upon the bell ringing, he runs after Seth Rollins and misses him completely in the attempt to knock him off the apron. Looks more like Seth was tired and wanted to fall and take a nap on the floor.
Dominic went after Rollins!
I could give Dominic Mysterio a pass because he's a rookie, but that'd be dumb on my part. Murphy is the legal wrestler, not Seth. I could understand knocking Seth off the apron early on, but Dominic should have immediately shifted his focus to Murphy instead of turning his back on him.
Out the gate! I enjoy it. Is that anticipation?
Jeez, Murphy's having a tough time throwing Dominic into the ring for whatever reason. Dominic isn't even resisting his attempt.
In the street fight!
Seth Rollins reacted before Dominic Mysterio could even connect his shoulder tackle on the ropes. He really needs to stop doing that. Die, Payback table cover! You must suffer the wrath of the Messiah!
I'm a little bit frustrated.
Murphy seriously asked the temper tantrum throwing Seth Rollins if he is okay? That's the one thing you never ask someone who's throwing a temper tantrum. Most obvious answer ever.
Be careful what you wish for, Ray.
Says the guy who's gonna monologue the shit out of his opponent until he gets his ass handed to him.
Calling for the disciple. Oh!
Wow, I'll remove 2 sins because that was a seriously innovative move on the part of Murphy and Seth Rollins. Never seen that one before. Gonna be honest, a lot of this match was giving me major anxiety, especially the moments when Seth and Murphy were not doing anything and letting either Rey or Dominic Mysterio recover from the onslaught. Are we seriously gonna be doing this all the time now? Because I'm not liking this one bit.
Whoa!
Okay, Seth and Murphy may piss me off from time to time with their constant stalling, but they really know their game when it comes to double team moves and counters, like that catch into the Falcon's arrow right there.
Stereo able to roll through.
Stereo? Is that what we're supposed to refer to Ray now? Ray Stereo? Dominic Stereo? That's weird, but okay.
Two legal superstars.
Dang, second pay-per-view in a row where we see the usage of a code breaker to counter a move from the top rope. Or at least I think it is the second pay-per-view in a row. Regardless, that was an amazing counter from Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins
do it
has
myself.
an
Then do it already! Seth Rollins grabbing Rey Mysterio's ass.
Messiah. No, where did Dominic come from? Where did he come from?
Byron Saxton asked the where do they come from question with an obvious answer. Samoa Joe was about to answer said question, but then was likely told to act stupid and ignorant while on commentary. No, you're not supposed to use logic, damn it!
The two illegal superstars in this match.
Tom Phillips is really starting to lose it here, as he just said that Murphy and Seth Rollins are both illegal superstars in this match. Well then who the hell are the Mysterios facing? The invisible team of Little Jimmy and John Cena? I know that the fans wouldn't be on camera, but wouldn't it make more sense to showcase the audience all over the arena, even the place where the cameras are not pointing, to help the wrestlers feel some sort of normality by cutting promos to the fans instead of an empty area?
Where's your son now, Ray?
He's about to recover and kick your ass if you don't shut the fuck up and finish off his father to win the match.
Kick him in the head.
Sure, that command definitely won't raise any alarms on Ray's awareness of what's going on around him. After all, he lost an eye 2 months ago, not his ear.
Helpless. Oh, wait a minute.
And Seth blamed Murphy for this?
Tomorrow night on Raw, Rey Mysterio goes one-on-one with Seth Rollins.
Why? Seriously, why? You can't even last 24 hours without putting Ray and Seth in matches against each other. I know that Ray gets replaced by Dominic due to injury, but still. Let's show the Hurt Business, leaving the arena with absolutely nothing happening and or no one attacking them because reasons.
I have a mission for you.
Vince McMahon gives Adam Pearce a mission to make sure that every member of tonight's main event signs the contract prior to SmackDown's conclusion, otherwise there will be serious consequences. And we never get to see any of those serious consequences to Roman Reigns for not signing the contract or Adam Pearce getting fired for failing the mission. Vince was bluffing the entire time.
I need their signature before the night is over.
So, in other words, Roman Reigns is legally not allowed to participate in tonight's main event, and yet he is. Well, shit, that's the second time in less than a week that WWE had me stunned. If someone told me last week that Roman Reigns will be returning as a heel and have Paul Heyman as his manager, I'd send your ass for being an idiot. But here we are, and it is a reality. Wait a minute, didn't The Fiend have its own version of the WWE Universal Championship or something? It's barely visible in the dark, but you can clearly see Braun Strowman standing right there, completely missing his cue and spoiling the fact that he was supposed to attack The Fiend in a pre-match assault. So I'm sending Braun for a pre-match assault before said pre-match assault ever happened. That's a first. Also, I suppose Braun attacking The Fiend from behind is why the champion is entering first, when traditionally, the champion is supposed to enter last. I get that Roman Reigns found a loophole in the contract about not having to sign it until the final bell rings to end the match, but given that it's a stupid loophole intentionally added for the purpose of exploitation and prevention of a wrestler competing in a triple threat match, I'm giving this 1,000 fucking sins. At least wait for Roman Reigns to enter before you ring the freaking bell.
Chaos has already begun. Strowman.
The only thing I give WWE credit for here is they have the correct audience sound effect playing in the background. Imagine if the fans were actually attending the show in person. They'd be booing the whole match due to the bullshit. I'd remove a sin for WWE getting the crowd noise right, but I'm too pissed off at their stupid choices to care.
Champion delivering Sister Abigail.
Now, imagine if this match ended right there and Roman Reigns is standing backstage with a humiliated expression on his face as he watches his title shot go up in flames. If only.
These two titans might destroy everything.
Even the commentators are completely ignoring the major flaw that is the absence of Roman Reigns.
Driving Strowman through a table.
You know, I would have removed at least half of the 1,000 sins I placed moments ago if The Fiend randomly decided to put Michael Cole in the Mandible Claw. At least we could be happy about one good thing. Alexa Bliss is heavily involved in The Fiend's storyline with Braun Strowman and is still resorting to backstage trances. It's as if her presence never mattered in the build-up to both SummerSlam and Payback.
And Strowman just launching it.
The Fiend blocks the chair from doing serious damage to it and still suffered serious damage, just like this entire storyline is seriously damaged and sinful. Oh, the unlimited power I possess.
To this point, there's no Roman Reigns.
It took Corey Graves over 5 minutes of the match to realize that. Holy shit, this is bad. The Fiend is probably crying because it knows it's about to be a week-long transitional champion to somebody else. Poor thing. I almost feel tempted to hug it, though it would kill me shortly afterward. The real question is why there are 2 random hidden tables in this one location where nobody and nothing is present. Well, I guess that explains why this entire event was coincidentally the one that chose to have no LED ring posts like it normally does. Also, no offense, but the combined weight of Braun Strowman and The Fiend is 670 plus pounds, and that is somehow enough to shatter the ring from a superplex? That's gotta be one weak-ass ring if that's the case. This is WWE for God's sake, and they got a ring as weak as a backyard handmade ring? Looks like Otis isn't the only Mr. Money in the Bank on SmackDown.
Reigns figuring out, what do I do now?
All Roman Reigns did was try to pin both Braun and The Fiend. If he's questioning what he's supposed to do after that, then it really shows how much of a game plan he had coming in late into this match. Roman Reigns is a dick to The Fiend's Firefly Funhouses. Big shout out to my fans for coming up with that name in the Royal Rumble 2020 Part 2 since when I first asked what I should say in this case. I guess this was the brief return of Fan Sins!